I wasn't a mother who was available full time for my children. I entered politics at a time where usually women step out of politics,
Yes.
where I had two children, young children, and who needed their mother constantly, which we believe, that we need to be around them. And I entered at that point in time where Congress was on its, it was sliding downwards. It was in power and there were problems all across. My son was the older one, the daughter was much younger. But they took it along, and at times, there were moments when my daughter was unwell or my son had some annual day function, which I could not attend.
Did you suffer from mom guilt or it still?
Absolutely. Oh, I still do. I still do. And mom guilt is very strong in a sense that, especially for someone who spent more hours of her life in her political journey away from them. And even now, as a member of parliament, when I go to the parliament, my children haven't moved baggage to Delhi. They stay in Mumbai. So they continue to be here, and I go there for a good number of days. So I have seen my daughter go through a lot of anxiety issues. I'll be very honest and upfront. This is the first time I'm saying it. When she was growing up, she had issues in terms of learning. Academically, she became weaker, though she's a very bright child. But I could see that with her mother not being around and the kind of focus perhaps that is needed. Sometimes children perhaps don't need the focus, they just need someone around,
Yes.
right? So those were things which I felt massively guilty about. And but both of them are now extremely mature. They understand that their mother has chosen a tough road to, a tough journey to undertake. And I'm very certain they're proud of me and proud of having contributed to my journey.
If you could turn back time, is there anything you feel that I could do more, or something was left out?
No, if I turn back time, perhaps I would have wanted to utilize my time better with my children. In a sense, have more quality time. What used to happen with me is, because I came from a non-political background, and I was a spokesperson. There were many intense debates on television.
Lot of responsibility.
And lots of responsibility is one thing, but intense debates, they used to sap me of energy.
A mental
Sometimes
toll.
it used to make me very negative also. So after that, even after the debate was over, half an hour after that also, I was sometimes arguing either with the anchor or with the person who had said what he did. And of course, speaking to my husband agitatedly that, how can someone say this to me? Do they know who I am? Do they know my journey? Do they know my struggles? Do they know I have I have a doting family, but for accusations being hurled at me. So those were stressful times. Maybe I could have left that, okay, my role here is over as a spokesperson. Let people say whatever nonsense they want to. I'm not going to get impacted because this is my family time. The second thing I feel is that in an expectation of wanting to prove that I am the right fit, the right person, and I'm serious and I'm committed to this idea, there were times when I would undertake more work than was needed. The inability to say no, that this is the cutoff time. I remember once when we had a family dinner. We had planned a family dinner, and there were no debates that had come up that day. So, the children were excited that they were finally
yes.
going out,
Yeah.
and we were going out as one
Right,
unit. Sometimes my husband was taking them, sometimes whenever I had the free time, he was taking them. So that was family unit. We were going together, and suddenly I got a call from Delhi saying that someone has dropped out as a spokesperson who was to do this debate. Why don't you do it?
Oh,
And I could see my husband telling me, don't do this.
yeah.
I could see my children's disappointed faces. But I said, no, I've got to do this, because if I don't do this, then, what am I contributing to the political party? So I took it, and I know they were extremely disappointed by my choices. But that is when I also took a call that probably the weekends, because my children are so young, I must draw a line. That is when I started to when I became a little confident in my space, I would say, no, maybe perhaps not. I'm not going to be doing this.
Yes.
I'm not going to be filling in for somebody immediately.
Right.
So those were things that, kind of make me realize that how I could have handled this better.
So, how do you make up for the lost time? I'm sure it would be really busy right now, also seeing the elections are going on.
Yeah.
So, how do you make up with your children?
No, kids are all grown up. My daughter's almost going to be an adult. She's
Yeah. So they're like, I have my own friends.
yeah, they have their own friends,
Yeah.
they have their own opinions. But one thing I have observed as compared to other children, most of the parents discourage their children to talk about politics. or to understand this. The belief is, let's not talk about it, or
Right.
you don't know enough,
Right.
or your opinion doesn't matter.
Right.
I've encouraged my children to find their own political
Wow.
ideas. And that I think becomes very important. So they've seen a family where there were arguments because there are two different political ideas. They read a lot, so they understand what are the political, where politics is coming in India, how it impacts the nation. So that way the children are very politically aware. But if you ask me how I'm spending my time, now honestly my children don't need me, and
Yeah,
those times I
yeah.
feel worse. That at the time when they needed me, I was like too busy.
Right.
And now that when I can balance my time
Like,
better,
I've grown up
they're
now.
like, dude, don't
Yeah,
need you.
yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that they've understood that their mother chose a difficult path,
Right.
and she has a larger responsibility, and they're happy about the fact that I did not give up. I
Yeah.
continued being the
We're
fighting
proud of
spirit
you.
continues. I hope so. I hope so. I'd like to believe that.
Right. Since they are so politically aware, do you see them standing as a politician in the years to come?
I don't think so. Both of them, I can never say never, but they're not really interested in being part of the political system. They want to be judicious voters. They want to be clear about they have this clarity about what they expect from their leaders. And who are the kind of leaders? Does degree matter? Does education matter? Does their ideas matter more? Their capability to understand challenges matter more. So those are things. What are the qualities that a leadership should have to understand what the next generation wants? What does a Gen Z want? What is the expectation the youth has from its leaders? So I think those are areas which they kind of understand, but not from a point of being part of the political landscape. My son was a very keen manner. He used to attend a lot of these MAN activities, and he does understand geopolitics, etc. But as of now, if I ask him if he would be wanting to be a part of this entire system, I'm very certain he'd say no.
Wow. So opinionated, and you have grown up kids now.
Yes.
How do you feel, the pressure of bridging that generation gap that comes between, two generations?
Oh, yeah. So I keep trying to, I'm the only one trying to bridge that gap, okay? And my kids make fun of me. They're like, you don't just get you all have a Gen Z language now,
Yeah.
which is very different from us. And
Yes.
sometimes I shout at them for the language or the grammatical errors, etc. But they're like, you
Right.
just don't know us.
Yeah.
But I do try and understand them.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to learn about what is expected of as a parent,
Right.
what is expected as a mother, or what is expected as someone who in the leadership roles who understand what our youth is looking at us for, and what are the areas which interest them.
Right.
So those are things I learn from my children. And in terms of generational gap, of course, my kids tell me what they do. That sometimes they tell me, "Oh, you're just trying to be a wannabe Gen Z or whatever." I don't care, because it also gives me new ideas and new perspective on how they perceive life. They're living in a very well-connected world. We got into this generation of mobile phones, etc. much later. They were born into this.
Very.
So they probably understand the social media usage better, connectivity better. So I think those are things I learned from them. I don't say that's a gap. There's just some deficiencies we have which we are trying to bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, don't kill me for this question.
No,
Okay,
it's okay.
suppose in some parallel universe, okay, your children decide to join BJP someday. They say, "Mom, I love BJP." What will be your reaction?
So I'm very confident my children are well read enough to know
Okay.
what BJP stands for, but for whatever circumstances that arise and they say that they want to join the BJP, I'll respect their decision. I'll totally respect it. And I'm not going to get into the way of adult minds telling them ye kaam karna bura hai. When my in-laws accepted the idea of having a daughter-in-law who's in the Congress party and is an active worker of the Congress party, they showed me the path that tomorrow my children might want to make different choices which I'm totally in disagreement with, and making that choice.
Right.
So it's okay. I mean, of course it will hit me, but I live with it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's okay. I mean, I guess that's a tough one actually.
Okay.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.